In Medieval Craft a Blacksmith, you're given a shop and you're given the freedom to essentially become a blacksmith. And we're going to get straight into my experience of the game because I played the prologue to this. It's not actually fully out yet, so you get a general idea of what the game's like. And by the end of this review, you should have a good idea of whether it's going to be a game that you will possibly get or not. So starting out the game, you start off as a blacksmith and you're given a shop and given some missions from a king in order to craft things so you can take over as the blacksmith. You are trained and given the ability to use different pieces of equipment within the actual blacksmith shop as the tutorial progresses. So the basic progression of the game is that you go to a mine and you mine different materials. This can be copper or iron or coal, and this will allow you to then go back to your shop and smelt it. When you get back to your shop, you put the copper or the iron ore into your smelter and then add coal in order to start the fire up. You then use the bellows in order to increase the temperature, and then you wait for it to smelt. Once the materials are smelted, you then go over and you put it into a crucible area which will heat the metal up and allow you to then start forging it. This is where the anvil comes in, where you will place your metal onto the anvil, take out your hammer and just start hitting it. Basically that's all you do, is just hit it. It doesn't matter where you hit it, you're not shaping it yourself, the game just kind of does it for you. Oh, and that does bring me back to the fact that you need to use tongs and equip tongs to pick up the hot metal, which seems a bit pointless. You have to actually equip those tongs in order to do that. And then when you put it on the anvil, you have to then equip your hammer quick enough before the metal cools down and start forging it. Once you've finished shaping that metal, then you put it into a bucket of water to cool it down, and then you have essentially your blade. Then, because they don't want to give you the ability to craft everything else when you're going to make a sword, you then have to go out to the shop and buy that stuff from someone in order to craft the rest of the sword. And this is a general thing that seems to happen with every blacksmith game. They don't give you the ability to actually craft every part of it. There is one game that I can't remember the name of that is a VR game that does allow you to do that, but most other ones generally make you buy it from a shop. Once you have all the stuff, you go to a crafting table and you put everything on the table, and then you click the pieces to put it together. And that's pretty much it. And then you rinse and repeat. So once you get through the tutorial of the game, then you will have customers and you'll have the ability to craft things for them. And there's not just swords in this game, there are axes and other things that you can craft, and there is a blueprint book that you can actually check in order to see everything that you can create. And essentially it gives you a load of recipes of things that you need to make it. You then proceed to make those things, and then you can put it in your shop on display, or you can sell it directly to the customer that requested it. And then you rinse and repeat. And there are a few other places you can travel, but at the moment there's not really much you can do there because it's not the full version of the game, it's just a prologue. This is just to give you an idea of what the game is going to be like, and evidently from my own experience of it, there's not really much to do at the moment. There does seem to be other things like a talent section, but it's not unlocked at the moment, and even if you did go through and unlock it, it's still the prologue, so it's going to be a very limited amount of time. The other massive problem with the prologue is that there's not actually a save function, so I got through pretty much all the prologue, went back to try and play it again, and I had to start from scratch, which is frustrating because you cannot skip the tutorial, which is kind of annoying. If you do like blacksmithing games and you like the idea of being able to craft things and run your own shop, then this might be a game that you'll enjoy. But if you don't like repetitive things and doing the same thing over and over and over again, this might be a game that you want to skip. For me personally, the repetitiveness of doing the same thing over and over again just kind of got a bit boring. Though you can get things like iron ore and copper ore and put a load of it into your furnace and then put loads of coal in and then smelt all of it, so you have a backlog of all of the materials you need. It still means that you do have to go back occasionally to the mine in order to get the things to smelt them. And the mining is very slow paced and very boring, and you do have to pick up every piece of coal or iron that comes out of the rock individually by clicking on it, which can be very slow and very boring. I think there are a lot of things that the developer could do to streamline this game to make things a little bit better, like automatically picking up materials rather than having to pick them up yourself. I also think that there should be potentially some other things in the game that could improve it, like the ability to actually craft some of the things yourself in order to make everything, to make the weapons, rather than just relying on a merchant where you have to buy things off of. because it essentially just means that you're just crafting the blade itself and then you buy everything else to add to it. In its current state as it is, the game is kind of fun at first, but it does get very slow and very boring very quickly. And because of that, I actually cannot recommend the game at the moment, but I will do another review on this game when the full release comes out, and with any luck there'll be enough in the game for it to be worth playing. I am also on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so if you do like my content, even though this is a very short kind of boring review, don't judge me on this review, go back and check my other reviews. I'll show you some at the end of the video, you can go to those ones and then you'll see. But feel free to subscribe and hit the like button, and obviously get down in the comments and give me your opinion on whether this is a sort of game that you would actually play or whether you're interested in it. And if this video is not enough to have actually got you interested in wanting to subscribe, then check out these other videos I'm going to show you now, because these are videos that are going to be a little bit more interesting than this one and not as short, so you might actually enjoy them a little bit more. Up there on the left we've got Night of the Dead, which is a zombie survival game that is pretty good. It's not actually a bad game, so give that a go, and especially if you like multiplayer games, definitely go up there and watch that video. And down on the right over there we actually have Ammo and Oxygen, which is a top-down roguelike shooter game which is actually freaking awesome, so check out that video. Other than that, thank you for watching my video. I've been Lycan from Green Lycan Reviews, and I'll see you in the next one.